Let's get started right now with news you can use. Today's topic is, did you know that you can actually get paid to buy a house? Not just get a free house, but you can get paid to buy a house. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. One of the best things about being in this business is you learn a lot about methods to systematize your business. And one of the biggest systems and the biggest models that I have ever learned is something that I copied from my mentor from the late 90s. And it's this phrase right here: the less I do, the more I make. And it is so true. The less I do, the more I make. So the concept here is, if you are able to systematize and or get other folks out there to do certain tasks for you, you can make a lot more money. You literally can force yourself in a position where you spend a little time, make a lot of money. What the concept I'm going to talk to you about right now is, in fact, one of those models. It is possible to get paid to buy a house. I've done it probably 600 times over the last 20 years. And let me give you, in fact, it's not just possible one way, it's possible two different ways. Let me give you a couple of examples. You can buy a house from a motivated seller subject to the existing mortgage. So what this means is that you can go out there and you can obtain ownership of the house. The title transfers from the seller to you, but the loan will stay in the name of the old seller. Now, we don't have enough time to go through all the individual details here, but it's a concept that is becoming more well-known in this industry called buying subject to the existing mortgage. It's literally on the HUD-1 statement. It's an established practice that has been around for years and years and years and years. It is not new, but it allows you to essentially buy that house with no money down. Okay, that's concept one. You're buying or you're getting a free house. Concept two is you take that free house and you turn around and do what's called a lease option on that property. You lease it with the option to buy. So you find what we'd call a tenant buyer or a buyer, a homeowner in training. And you turn right around and you are able to get a option consideration, or a deposit, sometimes it's called, from that tenant buyer. And then you'll get a monthly payment. And at the end, you'll get a larger payment as well. So the money up front frequently in today's environment can amount to $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 that you get up front. You don't close the purchase, the subject to purchase, until the day you find the buyer and close with the buyer. So on that exact same day, you bought a house for free, your tenant buyer has given you $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 as an option consideration to buy that house. So you've literally been paid to buy a house. It is a golden concept, and if you do it according to the way that we teach it, it is relatively risk-free. There's always some risk in buying subject to and selling on a lease option, but the risks can be minimized, and if you do the right things, they're not risky at all. The bottom line is, it's great, and I didn't believe this until I actually did it, but I believe this concept of the less I do, the more I make. And so I went out and I bought a house subject to, and I turned around, and this was probably in 2000. I turned around and sold it for, I think, about $15,000 down payment. I made about $600 a month cash flow above and beyond the existing payment. And then when my buyer finally cashed out, I think I got $14,000 or so more dollars. Of course, the dollars were a lot smaller in 2000 than they are here in 2022, going on 2023. But you get the concept. You buy it for free, and then you get paid by your buyer. So you have, in essence, been paid to buy that house. It's a great concept. It is, like I said, relatively easy to do. We can teach you that kind of thing. Second way to do this is you buy under a lease option. And I probably have done as many, if not more, this way than I've done on the subject to with the lease option in terms of the seller, the buyer. The way you do that is you'll go out and you'll find a landlord or somebody who's just tired, their house needs to move on, somebody who's motivated, a seller who has a circumstance that puts them in a motivated category, something like death in the family, divorce, taxes, bankruptcy, job loss, medical issues, family issues, having to move, those types of things. And you'll typically agree to an option price. In other words, you will buy the house for X number of dollars. And in the way we teach it, you're not paying that seller any option consideration, or you're paying a minimal amount, typically no more than, say, 2% of the price down. Almost every case that I did, I paid nothing down. Now, $10 is, when I say nothing, I'm excluding the $10 that you need to pay to make any kind of transaction valid and legal here in the United States. You need probably $10. Some states require $1, some require a little bit more, but generally $10 is enough to have consideration and to give you what's called equitable interest in the property. Once you have equitable interest, it allows you to take the position of the owner in that property. So you buy, let's say, for example, you buy a house and you agree that when you cash out, you'll give the seller $200,000. You agree to pay them $1,000 a month in lease payments or rent. Then you turn around and you do the same thing. You lease option it out. This is called a sandwich lease option on this side, lease option on this side. But when you lease option it out, you lease option it out for a large down payment / option consideration, typically that same $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. You'll take that $1,000 a month payment and you'll mark it up, and then you're also going to add the value of the house. So a typical transaction may look something like this. You find a motivated seller, they just want to get out of their house. They may owe some money on it, they may not. Doesn't matter. You've agreed to give them $200,000 for the house, and let's say the house is worth $220,000. So you've agreed to take it as is, that kind of thing, and you negotiate $1,000 a month payment with nothing down, $10 option consideration. You find that buyer, that tenant buyer out there, and you turn around, you get that $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 down. You take the price and you mark it up to say $239,900. Remember, you bought it for $200,000 and you're selling it for, let's say, $240,000. You're going to get 8% down, which on those kinds of numbers might be $18,000 down. You're going to take the $1,000 a month that you're paying the seller, and you're going to mark it up to, say, $1,600 a month, which would be standard rent for that type of property in that area. And at the end, the difference between the $200,000 and the $240,000, $40,000, you receive 16 of it up or 18 of it up front in the option consideration. And then you're going to get the remaining $22,000 at the end when your tenant buyer goes to the bank and qualifies, gets a loan, and cashes you out. So you get paid at the beginning, you get paid during the middle, and you get paid at the end. It's 3 ways to get paid. But once again, you're getting a house for little to nothing down, and you're selling it on the same day to a tenant buyer for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 down. So you're getting paid to buy a house. It's a great way to go. And if you have limited funds available with which to do this business, these would be the 2 ways that I would start, because there's nothing better than putting zero into a deal and getting paid by your buyer on the same day. It will make you a believer in the system. The first house I ever did was a house where the seller had advertised lease option. He didn't want anything down. He just wanted a market rent. I was able to mark that property up, probably $20,000. This would have been a house that I got for about $80,000. Today it's probably worth $300,000. And I sold it for like $110,000. And I made a few $100s per month on that. I got, I think, $10,000 option consideration. Keep in mind, this is back in 1999. A few $1,000s in option consideration, around 10. A few $100s per month cash flow. And then on the back end, I was able to get, I think, $20,000 more. So I literally, on my first deal, I got paid to buy a house. So this is working for yourself. This isn't working for somebody else. This is not clocking in. This is when you decide you want to go out there and make money. You can take one of these methods with essentially no money down, pocket money, $10, that kind of thing. The knowledge, backup, and support, which we provide, and you're going to be able to go out and get a house with a free house, and you're going to be able to get paid for it at the same time. There's no better feeling in the world. Now, are you going to get rich on any individual house? No. But, if you do one of these a month, and let's say you got nothing more than $15,000 down, that's $180,000 a year, plus 12 houses, cash flow of $300 or $400 a piece. That's another $40,000, $50,000 a year. And then you've got all the back end profit, which frankly, we don't even consider. We don't count on that. We don't bank on that. We just let that part go. We don't worry about that. And if you get paid, great. Tenant buyer defaults, you just do it again. Go ahead, release it, re-option it, and you do it again with another tenant buyer until you get somebody who crosses the finish line and gets you paid. So yes, you can get paid to buy a house, and hopefully all of you can go out there and do just exactly that. All right, that's it for news you can use for today.